we have our samosas and snacks and tea now, coffee and tea for a few people, we can talk about that more. So thank you so much for coming and enjoy.
So I'm Saraswati Venkatraman. I'm taking care of my husband who's had a memory loss problem for the last 5 or 6 years.
I'm Ranjana. My mother had a stroke in April this year. She had a hemorrhagic stroke, and since then I've been taking care of her.
Hi, I'm Sudha. I'm taking care of my father who had brain hemorrhage 4 years back.
I'm Seshadri Kenan, living in Tendal apartment, Thiruvanmiyur. She is my wife, Kalpagam Kanna. We were married in 1958. And for the last 7 years, she has this problem.
Hi, I'm Rama Murali, the founder of Care Cubed, an organization that supports family caregivers in Chennai. Several of our caregivers are sharing their stories, the journeys that they've gone on as caregivers for their loved ones.
Buttoning up and all. He knows he's going to be photographed. Not bad. I'm carer for my husband, Mr. Venkatraman, who is 86 years old. He's a retired government servant, had a good tenure of service in the government of India, Delhi, and he was diagnosed with the vascular cognitive decline with memory loss. Reversal of symptoms is not on the card. We can stabilize him at one stage and prevent the progression of the disease, because this is a progressive disease. That word really was a little shocking to me, but then I said I have to accept it. It was pretty difficult for me to handle him and look after him, take him to the toilet and giving him a bath and all that, because of my arthritis and aches and pains. And I was so scared that he will fall down, and I will fall down also on him, because I'm mobile. I'm able to manage that. You have to put down. The carers are, till they are mobile and sturdy, or not sturdy, you can never be sturdy after 80. Alert, that's the word, isn't it? Mentally alert you have to be. That agency let me down. They come and they give you all sorts of, by 8 o'clock somebody rings up and says she cannot come because somebody is not well, or she'll send somebody. I said that sending somebody is not what I'm going to accept. You cannot, because I've seen you and I know you. You're going to send somebody else whom I don't know even, and I'm alone. And that's where I have to be very, very stern, not give in to myself by thinking that I cannot manage. See, if I'm not that strong in myself, then I will relent. All right, let her come and suffer all one night. But then it's not. I tell myself it's not the right thing to do, because I can land up in a very more difficult situation than this. Sometimes when I ask him, how's the coffee? He says, nalla, nannalla. I said, why? I took so much trouble getting up at 5 o'clock making the coffee. Nannalla, what's happening to you? Nannalla, nannalla, he'll go and repeat. I said, all right. Coffee after is more important than nannalla or nannarge. Okay, I'm not going to ask you that question. So something to talk, to keep the mood alive. Otherwise, it will go into a very silent, dull atmosphere. The more help needs to be pumped into this area of elderly citizens. Elderly citizens, they may be ill, they may not be ill, they may still have problems of eyesight, walking, debility problems. So, in a larger scenario, I think all this Indian mentality should go away. That the children are responsible for their parents, and some other this thing should come in, like the society or the government.
My mother, my Amma, Vaidehi, she's 81. So Amma suffered a stroke in April. And
April 6th night.
Amma, You have recovered. Her left was totally paralyzed. She couldn't lift her left hand and she didn't know that the left was not working. She recognized me, she welcomed me, and she said, why was she in the cardiac care unit? And that's when it dawned on me that she has indeed suffered something very, very, very serious, and she would have to be taken care in a much different way. Challenge always was to figure out what to do next or what would happen next. Work, I had to give up my work for almost a month when my mom was in the hospital, manage work from the hospital chair. But yes, feeling of despair is always there, because however much you do to a patient like my mother, it's not enough. End of the day, she is still not mobile. She hasn't even started to stand yet. I started having health issues. My ankles started swelling up. I put on a lot of weight. And past 4 months especially, I used to feel a lot of churning in my chest, and I used to ignore. And things became very unbearable. So when I went to the doctor, they detected high BP for me. I cry a lot, even now, because I sometimes feel that, okay, how do I manage her temper? Because she can suddenly blow hot, blow cold. So it is good for a caregiver to cry. I've resumed my swimming. I spend longer hours at work. And I continue to go and buy, groceries and vegetables. So all that I have started. I have gone back to watching comedy serials. Initially, I would find it guilty to watch comedy serials. Would you believe that? I wouldn't watch it because I would feel so guilty. Oh, myself. And I thought, if she could watch Sun TV, I have to start watching my serial. I hug her. I hold her. I say, I love you some maybe 100 times in a day. And I kiss her cheeks. I never used to be so expressive, but I have started doing that since May, because I realize that she gets scared otherwise.
This is my father, Mayupan, and my mother here, Meenakshi. So we both currently take care of Appa, who had brain hemorrhage 4 years ago. The whole understanding what it takes, what does it mean to have hemorrhage, and what is a stroke, what is rehabilitation, what does it mean to bring somebody home. It just took a long time to understand. So I think initially we were just hoping it will go away. He would just get up from the coma and he would just be himself, and we'll all go back to our lives. So I'm just coming from the US for a couple of months, and then everything would be all right. He said speech and mobility. I didn't even know what motor functions was. He said his motor functions will be affected. I said, oh doctor, what is motor function? I just came back, sat in the car, and I remember my sister and my brother-in-law in the back. I was sitting next to my driver. I just thought I was going to explode in the car. My chest was so heavy. I just thought I was just going to explode. Okay, I go back to the US and what? Go and work, international trade issues. It just seemed so far away and so meaningless. Then I thought, oh no, and then I don't know. The decision to not go back was the easiest. That was not at all hard. I think the hard part was accepting that Appa has fallen sick. It is just so painful. I think that's the most painful thing, to see him go through pain when he has spasms. So you get so depressed, and then I don't know, I think it was just bad. I was just very, very depressed. And then slowly you hear about friends just doing things. Life is going on in a world on its own, and I am just sitting in the room with my father who just doesn't do anything, and then who is in pain. Anger was also a big thing. Initially, I was very angry. I think I was angry with Appa also, because I think he always wanted me to come back and he wanted me to be with him. So I was like, oh, now I am with you and I have come back. This is what you wanted and now you're sick. So, I was just angry at myself. Initially, there was a hurry to go back to some life. Oh, if he can only exercise regularly and play a game, he can get better and I can just get a job and do something else. So it took me time to understand this is life. Taking care of him is life. Being with him is life. I can't go think of some other life. There is no moving past this quickly and going somewhere else. This is life. this is what I have to do. There is no quickly getting over this and going for a job, so because that realization has come gradually, now I'm more calm when he's sick.
Yeah, very good. You think old 1958 picture? Certain things like she'll ask me, uh, who you are married? She'll ask me. And then I said, I married Kalpagam Kannam. Kalpagam? That's me. Oh, okay. Then uh, another time she'll say, who is your wife? Something like that. Then I said, I have married you. Here is the picture from our wedding photos and all that. So it's not, it didn't affect me much, but I felt bad later on.
How so?
Huh?
Later on, what were you feeling?
Later on, because she's mostly isolated, bedridden and all that. The major problem is she has relatives. They don't see her for all these years. In the beginning, after we moved here, I used to tell her about the first son. First 2 days, she asked me why he died and all that. Then one day she realized, oh, my son is gone. Either she go. Then my daughter-in-law said, better not to tell her anything. When the daughter-in-law phones, she says, how is Diggy? He's Diggy. So she says, oh, he's sleeping. That's the sad part of it.
How do you feel at that time seeing that?
No, I feel very bad. So mother is not able to know his son is dead. That's the only thing.
Do you ever get frustrated or anything like that?
No.
Or no?
Because mainly I understand this is a problem. I cannot do anything at all. So just get adjusted and keep it peaceful. Peace here all the time, whatever she wants for it.
And you yourself, you're always smiling and keeping a positive attitude. How do you manage that?
No. That's my inherent problem.
No, but it's a very good.
Okay. She used to criticize me. Why you are laughing like that all the time? No, I don't have work, so I attend on her. Nothing, I don't feel anything. Previously, 2010, I used to write some books and all that. I was spending that time. Now, if I sit there, computer, she will call me. Canon, where are you? Just calling me. When I come there, no, I didn't call you.
When she keeps calling you, how are you able to finish the work?
I shout at her sometimes. Then I cool down and I come and see her and then go back. Sometimes I keep the milk boiling and it will overflow. As a caretaker, we have to be very careful and polite. We should not lose our temperament. We should be very affectionate to them. Otherwise, it becomes very bad. If I show my anger, then it is very dangerous. I don't allow that.
I don't think they understand me as a caregiver or anything. They just understand me because they know me for ages now.
The family should be together now. I had all the relatives coming to the hospital when she was in the ICU. No one comes because for them it's like, okay, a major thing happened, she has recovered, so we are also free, we don't have to visit.
Being not married and being so much older has been a huge issue. So wherever I go, everybody feels, I think because in India, I think everybody feels comfortable asking, why are you not married? What is your age? So, somebody looking for you? How long will you keep doing this? And you won't believe, I've had a couple of instances where I would just break down and cry. Because I'm explaining about Appa, and I asked that lady, if you were sick and lying in the bed, and would you rather your daughter go get married and you're just okay? I'm talking about my father. What else is more important in life than taking care of my father? What do you say for that? And then as I was saying that, I started crying. I've cried in so many public places to so many random people who asked me. So now I've learned better. So I don't think anybody really gets it. Nobody does. Yeah, but nobody gets what to do.
The family or friends, do they come and check on you, not just on her, but to see how you are?
Nobody is there.
Do you think they don't understand, or
Yeah, they understand very well, but they cannot help it. They can come and chat and all that, but they have no time.
Biggest challenge is supposing he has to be hospitalized. That will be a challenge to me. Because will I be able to manage with this arthritis? The future, very difficult. I mean, future is very going to be a very tough. I don't know. I don't want it to be tough. We don't. I keep wondering how it's going to be. How it's going to be.
Biggest challenge is keeping her happy. Because you see, one thing I have learned is that she has memory lapses now and then, and she can get very annoyed with that. So the challenge is not to make her angry, because then her BP shoots up. She has been a hypertension patient for over 40 years.
If he passes urinal motion properly and if he sleeps, I'm so happy. That's all I want in a day. If any of this does not happen, then I get very upset. If he has not done physio in 2 or 3 days, or if he's not playing a game, then I get really depressed. I get very sad.
I think like a biggest challenge like that. Now it goes smooth. I'm able to manage. If something worse happens, then it's a big problem for me. Like she gets a heart attack or something. That's the problem. Otherwise,
about 3 years ago, I moved from New York to Chennai to help my mother take care of my grandmother who was unwell at the time. And during my time here, during that experience of being a caregiver for her, I recognized that there were so many gaps in the system here in terms of support for caregivers or even attention to the needs of caregivers. And it's from that experience I thought that I could perhaps help in some way to close some of these gaps. The way that CareCube tries to address the issue of caregiver health and caregiver wellness is that we provide a platform for caregivers to come together in a safe space among others that are going through the same things that they're going through. You know, different people that are caring for loved ones, whether it's their husband or their wife or their parent. And in that environment, they're given a voice. They're given a chance to share their story, to share what they've learned, to hear from others, to kind of be empowered and know that they're not alone. With that increased awareness, we hope that there's a little bit of introspection outside of the caregiver community where an individual can start looking at their own family and thinking, okay, is there someone in my family that's taking care of someone else? Is my aunt taking care of my uncle? Is my mom taking care of her father? What can I do to help them? What can I do to ease some of the challenges that they're facing? I can lend a hand, help run errands, lend a caring ear. Also, when I started CareCubed, you know, I'm just one person who's had an experience as a caregiver that wanted to talk to other caregivers and bring them together and have us all share our stories. And I started that 2 years ago, and now 2 years later, you know, I've connected with over 200 caregivers in Chennai. If we started doing that in India, you know, in each city, in each village, just one person going and collecting a few other caregivers together, what we'll find is that there will be vibrant caregiver communities growing all over the country, and these caregivers will be empowered, will have more support, will have more access to knowledge and collective resources, and ultimately they will be able to provide better, more compassionate care, not only to their loved ones, but for themselves.
You know, to know that there are people who have similar problems is a quite, I don't know what sort of a support it can be, but it is a very big support. Mentally, I think it revives you. And I'm trying to find out how they're managing. And that way, your group is very, very crucial to us because we get to meet people who are in similar situations and who may have ideas of how to, more than us, how to handle situations.
When you have a caregivers association where people share, then each caregiver learns something from the other person, and that is so great. And even if there is no learning, the fact that I'm not in isolation, that's a great morale booster.
Problem like this can make you either become very small or make you see the larger picture. When you come for the meetings, it helps you to see the larger picture in a sense that please, it's not always about you. You're not so important. It's not like everybody's problems are bigger than yours. Everybody goes through things, and everybody's grief is as important as your grief. And grief is grief, so it makes you more human and more loving and more accepting when you come to the meetings. I think in that way the caregiver meetings have been very helpful.
I will end up with a poem which comes to my mind very often. Today is tiring and depressing. Tomorrow is scary. But yesterday was beautiful because I don't have to live it again.
Family must get together to provide support to the caregiver first and to the patient next. It's like when you travel in the flight, they say, if there is an oxygen failure, let the elderly first take the mask, the parents take the mask, and then give the mask to the kids. So I think the caregivers need a lot of care from the family.
I don't know how I'm managing it myself. I'm managing because I can't give up the case.
So it's only good things that's come. I mean, then there's always a personal loss. If he goes away, it's always, I'll miss him so much. I already miss him so much. Oh, he had such a good sense of humor. Papa. All that is gone now, but that's okay. We have gained so much. That would be what we'll always remember and hold on to, I think.
So it was a lovely evening spent with Rama, Anjan and Vaishnavi. They've spent so much of time with us, and for them it's such a... So their time is so precious. I really admire three of them. Wish them all the very best in their future, and hope God will bless them too. My husband's blessings also are with all of you, all three of you.